To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So the day before yesterday, I took you a little tour of Carolyn's little garden that she started this year. Of course, it was just our test garden. Next year, we'll have a much bigger garden. It's really looking really good. I can't use really enough. Really looking good. Well, yesterday she surprised me. She usually goes down about once a day and picks up her vegetables, but she hasn't went down several days now. I don't know, maybe 4 days she hasn't went down there. And she said, well, I'm going to go down and water the garden because it hadn't rained in a while. And then yesterday she came up with that basket full of cucumbers. Now, like I said, we don't have a big garden. She said she planted 5 cucumbers, and she's probably got just as many tomato plants, but the tomatoes are producing a couple tomatoes here or there, but she's got a lot of green tomatoes on the vine. So I suspect by August, she'll start getting a lot of tomatoes. But that is a huge bundle of cucumbers. Now, Carolyn eats cucumbers for lunch. She doesn't like these bigger ones. She says they're too sour for her or something. So she's gonna feed that to the chickens, which is fine. So there's only 2 there, but everything else, that's lunch for her. I try to talk her into about eating something else, and she won't. She just eats the cucumbers and tomato and maybe a scoop of peanut butter. I'm really proud of her. Second year, and boy, I mean, just nailed it. I didn't know if we'd have enough sun. Like I showed you in several videos, I had to trim the west side of the garden, get all the trees down so she'd get more sunlight. So next year, this coming winter, I should say, I'm going to clean the rest of that up, and we'll get all that where we can plant corn. Now, we've also talked about planting some wheat for the chickens, trying to reduce our cost on the food of the chickens as well. Now we're getting about 2 to 3 eggs a day now, and I would suspect in the next 2 to 4 weeks we'll be getting probably another 3 to 4 eggs a day, so that'll be about 7 eggs a day. Carolyn's been putting eggs in everything. Yesterday she made hamburgers. She took 3 eggs, mixed it up so you kind of had like a hamburger meatloaf thing. It reduces the amount of meat that you got to use. You know, you got another 1.5 eggs in your portion of your hamburger. Food production is really going well. Earlier this year, everybody asked me what I was going to do when I got done building a tiny house, and I said we're going to focus on food, and the focus has paid off. I'm really excited about how well this is going. We've been canning. I just got myself a new camp stove. As you know, we cook off the camp stove. Eventually, we're going to get a full-size gas stove. We've been looking around for one. It was like $40. Went ahead and got it. So we could, because we have 2 canners. We found a used canner the other day at a garage sale. So now we have the cook stove, the new cook stove. This is just a little cheap one. It's a Coleman, but like I said, it was only 40 bucks. And then we got the brand new pressure canner that we've been using, and we got this one at a yard sale. I went ahead and bought new seals for it. The seals, of course, were kind of expensive. I think that was close to, I don't know, 19 bucks. I think I got 2 of them though. You got to replace those seals every 3 years. So that one's in a new condition now with the new seals and the new vent release safety valve thing they got. And then we also got another water bath canner. So we have ours. I think that one's ours there. And then we got a new one. That way when I go and butcher chickens this September, October time frame, I can butcher 6 a day instead of 3 a day. That way we can reduce on the food costs, because if you're only doing 3 a day, you got to feed them, you know, that 3 extra. So what I'm suspecting is we'll probably do about 12 chickens a week. Take us about, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. As you know, we have 28 meat birds that are going to be ready in October. I just said that. We bought 25, and the hatchery gave us 3 more in case a few of them died. That's going to be about 250 pounds dressed. Of course, we'll debone it, and that'll give us probably around 200 pounds of meat. So that's 200 meals. And they're just growing just terribly fast. They're getting so big now they're not even walking around that much. Their chicken breast is huge. Yeah, we got one tiny one right there. Wildlife hasn't bothered them. I've been using my little alarm here. That thing squeals and lights up. Last night it went off. I couldn't see anything, so whatever it was must got chased off. And then we have these 2 little blinky lights. That's all they do is just blink all night long. I'm not a doctor. Don't claim to be. Besides that, I'm not a big fan of doctors. I've told you that many times in the past. But what I will tell you is I have this theory that everybody requires different dietary supplements. And I've really analyzed this in my life. My daughter, who is adopted, hated meat. She just would not eat meat. Stick a steak in front of her face, she wouldn't eat it. She'd sit there all night. But you put tofu in front of her face and she'd chow that down. It always surprised me. I mean, she really liked the vegetables. Now, as a kid, you put vegetables in front of me. I didn't like vegetables. I still am not a big vegetable fan. Cooked vegetables specifically. I can eat raw vegetables. Pretty much any raw vegetable there is, I can eat it. But I'm just not a big fan of it. And so we've been eating these cucumbers. And I can tell that I don't need the cucumbers. You know, they kind of go through me a little bit. Try not to be disgusting. But now, on the other hand, Carolyn, like I said, can eat cucumbers for a meal, and she's completely fine, loves them. The chickens are kind of like my thing. It's, I don't know, I think it's actually bred into you. If you like meat, you don't mind raising chickens. If you like vegetables, you don't mind raising gardens. I've really studied the history of human development and all that, and I have my theories. I'm not going to get into them because they're just theories and they'd be stupid to discuss them. Of course, everybody would then tell me their theories and how I'm so wrong. I can eat a good portion of meat and very few vegetables and feel quite satisfied. On the other hand, Carolyn can eat a lot of vegetables and very little meat and feels very satisfied. So those that talk about being vegans and vegetarians and you need to get away from the meat, I just don't know if that's a true statement. I just don't think that's right, in my opinion. Well, my point to this is I'm really trying to encourage you to start thinking about producing your own food. How can you go about producing your own food and not wasting money at it? Our chickens are going to be about $6 to $8 per chicken after we butcher it for 8 to 10 pounds of chicken meat. You go and buy a Tyson chicken right now at Save-A-Lot, which is a discount food store. Well, I say right now, that was a month ago, and it was $14 for 8 pounds. So we're looking at $6 to $8 where you go to the store and get about the same size for 14. So I'm really trying to help you figure out how to do self-sustaining stuff, but still keep it competitively priced. I heard one YouTuber say that, you know, they're spending, I don't know, $4 a dozen of eggs for their chickens. Well, if you're spending $4 a dozen, and I might be exaggerating about that, I think what they're looking at is health issues. You know, no GMOs, all that kind of stuff. But now Carolyn, like I said, is thinking about growing her own wheat next year just to reduce our cost. The reason I'm bringing this all up is my friend from Texas sent me a YouTube video of a guy who's talking about food prices going up. And Carolyn and I have noticed meat prices have went up significantly and like I said, that was a month ago. And we got to go shopping here probably another week and a half to get more meat, and I'm really dreading it. I'm sure it's gone up even more. Now we have 90 days worth of canned food, chicken and bacon. Last time we went, they didn't have the bacon anymore. It was gone. I'm really starting to get concerned about food. I've said this in the past. I try not to fearmonger. I try to stay away from that. I just try to show you the happiness of raising chickens and the benefits of raising chickens and the cost analysis of raising chickens, but I don't want to scare you into going to raising chickens. But I think sometimes I just got to tell you the truth that here's what I'm seeing. My friend is really into this stuff, and he sent me this YouTube channel, and they were talking about prices of food going up. So I don't trust these guys on YouTube, so I did my own research, and I Googled grocery prices going up 14%, because that's what he said. And sure enough, Business Insider, which is at least a reputable newspaper, I realize that the media has no reputation, but at least it's a second source of information, Business Insider. And I read them occasionally, and they did say it, that this big executive, grocery store executive in New York is expecting a 14% rise in food cost by October. Well, okay, what does 14% mean? I mean, if we don't really break that down, I don't want to get all technical in the mathematics and all that, but if you break that down, Carolyn and I, let's just say we spend about $250 a month. I overestimated a little bit. So $250 a month. Usually we can get out of there maybe $150, not too bad. But with food prices going up right now, let's just call it $250. And we only go shopping once a month. And that will be an extra $450, roughly $430 in a year. Last year we spent $100, now we're spending $250. And now, you know, next year we're gonna be spending $300 per food trip. I don't think wages are going up. I don't think Social Security is going up. I don't think anything worth value is going up. So I think I found a good alternative. Now, here's the thing. You can raise chickens in a lot of municipalities. They let you do it now. You know, backyard chickens. And at least you can get some eggs out of that. Now, if you want to raise meat chickens, you'd have to be somehow discreet about it. Maybe build yourself a little shed. They're going to produce a lot of waste and make a mess. They might smell on rainy days. So you're going to want to be discreet about it. But in the end, it can be done if you're willing to put in the work. That being said, if you already got a full-time job and you're working, then you got to come home and take care of chickens, I can understand the downside. This guy was saying that his food costs could go up to $900 more per year on the YouTube channel. Now, here's another alternative. I keep talking about chickens. I'm not big into rabbits. I've tried rabbits. It was hard for me to raise rabbits, but a lot of people say it's good, it's easy to do. And if you feel like rabbits would be easier, rabbits, I've Googled this, have just as many downsides as upsides compared to chickens. It's not like one thing is better than the other. They're about equal. They do produce a lot of meat. They reproduce fast. Of course, the rabbits don't give you eggs, and I think eggs is a big deal. I mean, at least you can get lunch out of eggs. You can add to it. So eggs is, and the chicken meat and all that, I think, in my opinion, I'm leaning towards chickens more than rabbits. Maybe that's my problem. Just anything that you can do to get supplement your food. I'm really trying not to scare you, but I do want you to be prepared. You're watching this channel for a reason, I'm sure. I hope I can inspire you to take a look at your food production so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.